Anna, by the way, I realize, Anna Hollander, I think that everyone knows Anna. She's not a woman who needs a lot of introduction. In case somehow you haven't met her, Anna is very much ingrained and at the foundation of this community for how many years? 50 what?
55 years.
55 years.
56.
56 years, okay. So, any event, I'll let Anna speak for herself. I asked if she would take the time tonight to tell us a bit, even just roughly. I mean, there's hours and hours of what to learn here. If we could at least begin to learn about life before the war, when the Nazis came, what happened then, time in the camps, and afterwards, to give us just, again, a taste of a very, very wide scope. We can begin learning. Hopefully we'll save some time at the end for people's questions. And there will be more and more. And maybe, hopefully, Anna, maybe we'll get to keep hearing from you as time goes on. We'd be very, very happy. So,
Thank you. Okay, my name is Anna Hollander, and I'm a Holocaust survivor. I survived very bad times in a very young age. I'm going to tell you something what happened in Europe, how we Jews lived in Europe. We as Jews had a very good time when we had Czechoslovakia. Because we were free, we could have done whatever we wanted, like any other citizen. In the 1930, late 39, they came I come from a small city. They came in the doors and they knocked. It was Saturday, the second day of Passover. They knew that the Jews are all home. So they gave a knock on the door. They took away from us everything, whatever we can hear news. The radios, anything, whatever we had, they took away from all the Jews. For quite a few months, we didn't know nothing what's going on in the world. We didn't hear nothing, we were isolated. After that, in 1940s, they came one day, it was second day of Passover, and they knocked 5 o'clock in the morning, they knocked at the door, they came 4 Nazis came over, and they told us, we give you a half hour, and you can take anything you wanna in your hand. That's all what you can have. We as Jews, we were like sheep. We didn't know what's going on, but we didn't know nothing else. So we all, my mother dressed. I come from 4 children, and I'm the oldest one. And the other, I had a sister and 2 brothers, and my 2 brothers were the youngest one. And my mother went and dressed us all with my father. And in Europe, as a family, we were living, I would say, like neighbors, with a grandma, with a great-grandma, a big family, a happy family. That was our life. We had a good life, we had love, and they came and they took us away. They took us away. We had a big shul and a little shul, but not one building. They were 2 buildings separate. So they took us away in shul. And we stayed under house arrest in the shul. The Nazis, they went all around the area and brought in the people to the shuls. And after they got everybody together, that was like house arrest. We couldn't get out from there. We had no food. There were little children, they were older people, but we were all together with no food and nothing. So finally, when they came, they took us away to a brick factory in Sölisch, which was a huge city. And they had a brick factory, huge, like blocks and blocks long. And they put us in right there with no water, with no food. We had all people, no bathrooms, a shower, that was a luxury we didn't see for months. So after that, I had a great grandma. When they came to take out my grandma, she lived next door to us. My great grandfather had a heart attack. He died, and my grandma wanted to bury him. And they went and they beat her up. They didn't let to touch. She had to go. We picked her up from the floor. We were scared, otherwise she will be dead too. So my parents picked her up and we took her like a baby with us, whatever. We never know where our great-grandpa is buried. From there, we stayed there for a while. I'm not sure for how long, maybe 2 months, 3 months. After that, they start to came in the morning and they got up, they packed us in wagons. Everything was like in the trains, how much they could. We were standing, all the young and babies, and we were for days going. No water, no food, anything they didn't give us. We had little babies, they were dying in the train. We were going about a week or maybe even more, I don't even how long it was. The very old people, they wanted a drink of water, we did. So what we did, they put on the dead ones, they didn't want to take them out, we never stopped. So they put on piled up the dead people one on the other. When we gonna come down, we gonna bury them. So finally, we came to Auschwitz. That was our first stop. Auschwitz, they had two concentration, there was one. The people was Auschwitz, and then like across the street was Birkenau. They called it the gypsy lager, the gypsy one. They took us all into the gypsy transportation because they had so many Jews that they couldn't get rid of them, how many they brought back. So they put like a warehouse, like a death row. So each time what they ever wanted to take, they didn't have the quota to fill into the chimney. They came at night. We used to sit there, and Mengele came over, and they used to call that Zellapel. We had to go outside to count. We were in a row, 4. And whoever Mengele wanted to take, he never spoke to us, never. He always with a stick he went. And he took us out, and you never saw that person again, never. And if we had sick one, you couldn't even go to a dentist. If you had a toothache, we couldn't do. We tried to take ourselves with each other to help how much we could. I was a very young child. I am the most youngest survivor that you will find. Not too many my age survived. Why? I don't know. People ask me I don't know. So from there on, we were in gypsy transport, but I was there maybe about 6 months. And there was any day that we were scared for the night that they're gonna come take us in. What our food was daily, we had to get up 4 o'clock in the morning. They used to count us 4, and they used, after we finished there, they took us to a bathroom. The bathroom was like a shack with alleys, that you go to the bathroom. Even in the bathroom, they took us twice a day. No, not whenever you felt you wanna or need. Twice a day, in the morning, and when they brought us back, they took us in. So we were counted, and we went to the bathroom, and then in the morning, we went to take, we got a cup of coffee. The coffee was full of sand. It was not, you couldn't drink everything. And they gave us maybe 2 little slices bread a day. That was our portion. And at night, we used to get our black coffee again. And from that, we went. From Auschwitz, they needed to work. They sent us as slaves to work. I went out in Poland, not too far from Krakow, not too far from Auschwitz, and not close to Schindler's List. What we did at work, I used to, in the morning, get up in the morning. We used to march through the towns, and we had to sing loud as we were marching, or they took us to run. And if you couldn't run the way they wanted, you used to be whipped, and in the back with a big whip. And we were there, we built a railroad. So we carried the cement, how much we could. And I want you to know, I was very young. I was at that time, age of 13. I used to carry on my back cement and sometimes work, or the railroads, the stones, the bricks, we had to carry our own. When we finished building that railroad, then the trains could have come in there, and the big trucks brought in ammunition, and we had to take on from the trucks on the railroads, so they can be in. They can go to the front where they needed ammunition. It was boxes, it was all kind of ammunition. We had to carry from this to the back. But we were a little bit better treated than that. At least we used to see a little bit more sunshine. I never saw sunshine. We were a whole day. We used to sleep in bunkers in a shack that they had double like this. We used to sleep like this 5, and then the other side 5. And we were like having, whatever happened, if one of us wanted to turn, we used to, everybody to tell, I'm turning now. Because we couldn't. We were so packed on each other. And on a Sunday, we used to get off. But what we do, we didn't got no clothes, no nothing. Our clothes was made one dress, which said here, Judah, Jew. And in the back it said Jew. A lot of girls from us, they were never together, men and women. We were all separate. And whenever we came there, and then if they needed other work, we used to go. And we used to go in the kitchen, and they used to make potatoes. They said potato soup, but even potato peels wasn't there. So they had just sand. They never washed off anything, and that was our daily what we had. When we came, I came not too far where Schindler's List. That there started a little bit better. We could wash our clothes, take off our one dress with no shoes. We had no shoes, nothing. So in the winter, we used to go to take to the cows to feed. We used to go to feed cows in the morning. So they gave for the cows turnips. We used to take out a turnip from the cow. And that was a filet mignon to us. We were so happy that we have our little turnips to eat. We didn't eat for the longest time. We had no food, and that's the way we were around. And we were there, I would think so, maybe a year and a half, maybe a little bit more. And when we came home from work, we couldn't do anything. We had to go in the bunkers, in those shacks. We couldn't get out, we couldn't do anything. I couldn't go visit you. If I went, we didn't know who we are. Did they do something to us? I don't know. If I wanted to call you about, you didn't know I'm calling you. I used to go and shake. I said, didn't you hear I call you? She says, no. We didn't look back because we didn't know. We didn't know, we couldn't. We couldn't be too many girls on the same spot in the same. I remember when we came to Birkenau, which was the gypsy, that was a death row. And daily, they used to wake us up 4 or 5 times a night. We had to go outside and like 4 in a row. They called it Zelapel. And from there, they used to pick from us to go to the gas chambers. We never knew when or what or how. I had 2 sisters and a brother, and they went, when we came to Auschwitz, it was 2 sides, one right and one left. My father and me went on the left. My mother and the 3 children went with my mom on the right. But we didn't know. After we came in, I used to cry, where is my mom, where is my mom? I was a young kid. They used to tell me, you see that chimney? They are a long time gone. They put, then they said, it's in the chimney. She is out there a long time burned. We smelled that in the concentration camp. We didn't eat, we didn't have to sleep. How we survived, I don't know. But we survived. Daily from us was dying. And they used to come and pick them up like a piece of, I cannot even explain that, and throw them in the wagon and take them and just throw them away, the bodies, whoever died between us. And if you had a toothache, you didn't go to complain because you were gone to the gas chambers. We helped each other. We couldn't do nothing to tell them. We tried. I know with us came young ladies, they got just married, and the woman was pregnant with the first baby. In the beginning, when she was with us, she had during the night the baby. We didn't know what to do with her. We didn't want to call nobody because we knew she was going to be dead. So what we did in the morning when we went to the bathroom, we put it in a shoe to take that baby, and we threw it down in the bathroom. That's the only choice. And we cried for that baby, that even we couldn't bury a little innocent little born child. We had a hard time. We had to keep together. We all stayed together, and we had to help each other. Food we didn't have. Water we didn't have. We only had so many things. When we went to work, it was a little bit better because at least they gave us a few slices of bread. So we were happy with that we have bread. And we kept on going for months and months the same way. We had no choice. We couldn't run away. In Auschwitz, everything was the wires electric. If you touched the wires, you got electrocuted. You couldn't run. You couldn't. Then they were sitting on the top. We would watch 48 hours, and they used to watch what's going on there, and we couldn't. Nothing. If somebody tried to run away, they took away in a wagon dead, and we had to go all around to see and spit on that person. If we didn't spit, you were beaten up. You had no choice in the matter. That's how we went through all around. I was a little girl, I used to cry, where is my mom, where is my dad? I was a very young girl when I was in concentration camp. After that, we got a little bit liberated. But we came from the Russian side, liberated us. Because we were in Poland, the Russian came. We got liberated a little bit earlier than in Germany, the concentration camp. The Russian came to Krakow, and they liberated Auschwitz. Then they took us, and we were running. The Germans were running one way, and the Russians were going the other way. We were in the middle. We didn't know where we are, who will take us. So finally, what we did is we came to the Russians, and they opened the door, and they wanted to know who you are. So we tried to tell them we are Jews from the concentration camps. And they didn't want it. They said that we are spies. We had the long dresses, and they didn't believe us that we are the Jews. So they took us to prison. They took us in jail, and we were in a jail about 5-6 days, and then they came from us, and they said we got 7 years Sibir. We have to go to Sibir. And
Siberia?
after that, they were sending us, the Russians, to Siberia, and we were going with the trains and walking and going because nothing was right. Can I have a drink of water? So what we did is we stayed around there in jail for quite a few weeks. And one day they came and they said they're going to take us to Siberia because we are spies. How hard we tried to tell them that's not true. We tried to tell them the Shema, because when we were very young years in Europe, thank you, Rabbi.
I have another one here when you're done.
When we were in Europe, we were very young. I come from an extreme religious home. And as kids, we hardly could, we just walk. They used to learn us Shema to say. They always, our parents used to say, honey, you have to learn because you never know what could happen. And you were born a Jew and you will die a Jew. I come from extreme religious parents. And like the Bayaz, the boys went to Cheder, Hebrew day school. To Cheder, they call it. They used to get up, the boys, at 5 o'clock. They used to go to Cheder. Then they went around 8:30. We had to go to public school. That was Bayaz Amos. The Jewish kids had to go to public school. We couldn't go a whole day. Then they went to, again, after the public school, they went back to the Cheder. The girls, they always were educated in home with a rabbi. A rabbi came and taught us Hebrew to daven, and whatever a rabbi teaches us. See, I have nearly a rabbi. Let me tell you. It's okay, Rabbi.
Go back to your family. They were teaching the girls.
A rabbi used to come and teach out the girls at home. So we were very well known by Judaism. Especially I come from a very extreme religious home. That's the way I was brought up. When in Europe, when we used to live, the Jews, we were always very careful because the Gentile used to call us, you dirty Jew. A lot of time. If I have a friend and I had to go to a public school, I never could have been a very close friend to her because the family never let that happen. Because you want to play with the dirty Jew? That's after the Hungarian, before the German took away us to the concentration camp. So we were like in the dark. They took away everything, whatever we owned. We didn't have anything. We didn't have a dress, we didn't have shoes. We were one dress and almost naked, no underwear. So once a week on Sunday, it was a nice day, we used to wash our clothes with the hands, but we didn't have where to hang it up. So we used to put on somebody's shoulder for a half hour, then somebody else put on my shoulder a half hour. That's how our clothes, we did. And I went that through almost 2 years. After I got liberated, I came to the Russians. Finally, I came back to Czechoslovakia. but very early. I got liberated very early, much earlier than in Germany, because the Russians came earlier to Poland until the American, the British went too deep to Germany. When I got liberated, one day, a few guys came to look around for children like me, but we didn't know who they are. So they came over to me and they asked me how old I am. And I said, I'm 12 years old. And what they did, they took me, and they were shlichim, like, how you say shlichim?
Okay.
Senders.
Emissaries.
Yeah. They took me from there to Hungary. We stayed in a school till they got together from all over Europe. They were searching for young kids. When the young kids came, they took us. They had a transport that took us away to Austria, but we weren't legal. From Hungary, they tried to take us in. So what they did, they bought the horses with hay in the back. And they used to pull out the hay and put us in between, because we went through borders, Austria. So they smuggled us in, not many of us, but each time 5, 6 kids came to Austria. And they had in Austria a Jewish organization there who, those kids like me, we got in there. But we stayed for a while in Austria, and what they did is they came back and they took us to Italy, from Austria to Italy in the wagon of hay. And we got into Italy. We stayed in Italy, maybe we were 24, 25 kids, very young ones. They bought the first shipping, a little boat, you know, the small, and they took us into Palestine. From there on, they took us in a school. We were all very young kids. And we did cry, where is our parents? We didn't know anything. Who is alive, who is dead? When we came to Palestine, we went in a school. I went in a school, and all of a sudden, that's mine. We were looking, every train came in and every bus who came in, we were looking if somebody is alive. We were waiting. We were day by day by the buses and by the train, whoever. Maybe my mother, she was so young, maybe she survived. Maybe my uncle, maybe my brother. We never knew who it survived or not. So when we went in Israel in a school, it was very young kids like me. They got together, and we were there for 2 years in a school. One day, they had no, at that time they had just one phone in the office. And here comes a man, and I had somebody with us, a guy who was named Hollander. And he was in school with me. He was a very young kid too. So people went to look around, maybe somebody survived. they went to search everywhere. We went every school, every kibbutz that we knew there is from the Holocaust people. We went to look around. Maybe we will find somebody, maybe by any chance. So one day, here comes a man, and they call with the ram call from the office, Hollander, a phone call. And here runs my friend, who is with me in school, to the mic, and here comes another guy with the mic, and Hollander. So he asked the other guy asked from where you are, and they found out not family. What happened with them is, he says, you know what, I will be 18. Would you like to come to my birthday party? I never had a party, but I don't have no food. I have maybe 5, 6 rolls. I'm gonna cut them on pieces, but that's gonna be okay. So he asked, can I bring more people from the school? He says, yeah. Here I come. There where I met my husband. And from there on, we had a lot of good times and bad times. But if you are together and you love each other, you go through a lot of heartaches. My husband was 3 times wounded in Israel. He was a soldier. My husband was always a fighter. He promised in his life that never again they're gonna kill Jews, never again. He said to himself, I cannot do nothing with the grown-ups, but I'm gonna teach those kids that there was a Holocaust and can be again a Holocaust. And he tried to build Yiddishkeit with all his soul and with everything he could have. For being a Jew. He says, never again we're gonna kill Jews. And after a while, when we got married, we had 1 daughter, and we came here to this country. And we didn't want to come, but he had a sister, and she wanted so badly we should be together. The whole family got killed and all that. So they decided that they will. In my lifetime, I'm a very old lady. I can tell you one thing, I suffered a lot in my lifetime, awful a lot. I was a very young kid. I don't have parents. I was 10 years old when they took away my parents. I was just raised like this. And I worked, and I tried very hard to raise my kids. They should be the best they can be. My family, that was my main important. And I still say, can be again a Holocaust, and we're not gonna watch from each other. We have to do that. It can be again a Holocaust. You want to say something else?
So, I know people are going to have questions. If I could just ask a first question?
Yeah.
I was wondering, if you, did you ever see your sister or your brothers again after were you together for a little while?
No. When we came to Auschwitz, there was a right side and a left side. Nobody knew what it is. My father and me, they took on the left. My mother with the 3 children, they took to the right. I never saw her again. They never. And like I tell you, how shall I say? We came in a big building to Auschwitz, like a shack, and we had to take off all our clothes. They pulled off all our jewelry, not to take off. They just grabbed it and pulled. And from there, we went in a shower, like bigger this shul. So who they wanted to send to the crematorium, they put on gas on those people. They weren't dead, they were just falling down and all that. From there, they took them to the crematorium. And then the Jewish people worked with the crematorium, and after 3 months, they burned them too, and they took a new crew. That's the way, because they didn't want to, just in case something happened, they should tell the stories for the world. But in the concentration camp, some of us had a very hard time. I enjoyed it. Maybe I was very young and I had to be good. But my sister-in-law, she overslept one day. She was sick. They came in and they took her away and they tortured her. They put away her nails. She was still alive. They pulled her nails down. Or we had to go on nails barefooted. We had to dance on that. Or we were marching. We had to sing around. I used to be so many times whipped in my back because I couldn't run so fast what they wanted me. So what happened? We had them near us, and they used to whip like a horse or like anything. They whipped us. They put very little in Auschwitz. They didn't do anything. Anything happened to you, you went to the gas chamber. Even you had a toothache, you couldn't ask for help. If you went to the crematorium. And in Auschwitz, even now you go, you smell so much the flesh, like skin, burnt. We went twice, my husband and me, we went there. It's still some of it are staying where we were, where I was in the gypsy camp, because the gypsy camp was like a death row. From there, they took us to the crematorium. There is so many stay still there. When we went the first time with my husband, we went the family back to see. And my husband met Caleb Raham, and we fainted. He fainted, Rabbi, and all of us. But the way it is, I come from an extreme religious family, and God is with me always. I know He's with me. I talk to Him. I scream at Him. He never talks back to me.
Nobody talks back to you.
No, but I talk to Him. This is the only remedy that I had since I'm very young, and if I'm very happy, I talk with Him. And I'm a very person who is very strong God believer, as the way I was brought up, that there is a God in heaven. And I always, what I went through in my lifetime, I just feel that somebody is with me. I thank many times for God, many times. I tell Him thank you. Oh.
Joanne?
I had the privilege of knowing Ann for 40 years. The whole time I've been married, and when I came to shul as a young woman. And Ann, you've always served as an example of resilience, and just all of us who've known her, no matter what you've been through, you still have a smile and a hug and a kiss, and there's cake at your house, and this is how I feel like I've grown up with you, and I've been influenced by you, and I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, we have to do that, otherwise we cannot go by the day. Like I said, I do talk a lot to God. I'm extreme I should be more religious, Rabbi. But I am an extreme from a home from very religious parents come out. And like the rabbi said, you can talk to God, he will not answer you, he's right. So I listen to my rabbi.
Another question?
How did you keep going on? What
I
motivated
don't
you
hear
to
that.
not giving up?
The question was, how did you keep going on? What motivated you to keep from giving up?
We had no choice. We didn't know who we are. We feel very strongly that they had to put something in our food which we didn't yet. We had in the morning when we got up, we had a cup of black coffee. From that, we went out to work. Thank you. From there, we went out to work. They brought us in 9, 10 o'clock. We used to line up for food. So they used to say it's potato soup, but it wasn't even a peel. It was water and sand. Everything was sand. They never washed anything from that. So we had no choice. We didn't know how to think. We were like zombies. Why we all think that they did to us something. What they did, we never find this out. Because if I call you, if I would call the rabbi wouldn't even look at me. I had to go and shake him, or everybody. We didn't have more, we were scared, and we never thought about tomorrow. We couldn't think. There was no that we would think about it.
Kaba?
Do you ever have dreams about what happened? I mean, do you ever just kind of, you're walking along and you just stop and think about everything? It's just so much to take in about how different it is than today.
Do you hear the question?
No, I didn't hear.
The question was, do you ever have dreams about what happened? Or if you're walking, do you just stop and see the difference of what was, what is?
Once in a while I dream, but I do have a lot of times that I feel, why am I left all by myself? I always, like I told you, I'm a very God believer and I talk a lot to God. Why did you leave me here? You took everybody away. You leave me here. For what? For whom? But I get no answer. I have to survive. I have no other choice. I try my best. I am a very lucky person. I am not a depressed person. But what I do, I feel for a sick one. I am the first one. I find that you are sick, I will bring food. Because I remember when I was hungry. And you cannot cook and you cannot. I would be the first one, even if nobody asked me, but I will. Oh, I know there is a sick, she loves my cake. I don't know her just that. I will bake a cake every week or every 2 or 3, I will take her a cake because she loves that. Because I remember, oh, I will make a dinner in my house. If I invited 6 people, you can eat 12 people in my house. Because I feel when I was hungry, and I always feel I don't want my guests should be hungry. And people ask me, look what a dinner you made too. But that's my Holocaust. I live by myself. Now I have my grandson. You go in my house in the frigidaire, you can feed an army. My grandson says, Grandma, why are you cooking every day so much food? For whom? Oh, I don't know. Maybe somebody will walk in and somebody wants, or somebody is sick, I can take it, or I can bake it. I enjoy of being a housewife. I love to bake and to cook. So I'm always, if I find out people are sick, I don't know those people, but I will take them the food. That's because I was hungry. Or when you come in my house for dinner, why did I make such a big meals and all? I'm always afraid that it's not going to be enough. And that every Holocaust survivor is. I want you to know. Because we promised ourselves never again, we're not going to be hungry. And that's what we are doing more than, this is our remain. What I want you to know, that a lot of second generation kids suffers from the Holocaust people. Unwillingly, we do to them, like if my daughter didn't want to eat. Oh, when I was your age, I would have eaten, I didn't have. It's just not that you're missing something by it, but you should say thank you, you have a food in front of you. So there's a lot of first generation suffers from the Holocaust people, not willingly. We don't want to hurt nobody. But it's so much installed in us. I know when I come here in shul, they're all my friends. If you don't want to talk to me, I talk to you. You see, that's me. I don't know why. Am I extreme friendly, or am I don't know. But if I see a face that I never saw, I introduce myself and I say, I don't. You know, I'm so-and-so, you are new to the congregation, do you have here to sleep? Do you have what to eat? That's the first thing I will ask. Because I went through that. So I always feel, in the same thing when I make a dinner, I can feed an army. I am by myself. And I cook like I would have a family from 10.
When you were in the concentration camp, did you know when it was Shabbat?
When you were in the concentration camp, did you know when it was Shabbat?
Not really. But the high holidays, what we used to do, we used to carve, it was a shack from wood, and we used to carve down a line. So we should know, but we didn't know what day it is. And sometime, I don't know even if we knew Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is. We didn't. They didn't give us, they never, we were zombies. We weren't people. We were worse than animals. Everybody treats better animals than we were treated. They kicked us, they threw us, they whipped us. We were, even, I cannot even say that you would do to a dog, to an animal, what they did to us. They stepped on us. They beat. Once I got so whipped because I couldn't run that hard. I was young, I was hungry, I didn't have no food. In my life, in the young life, I had no margarine, and no water, and no eggs, and no nothing. So it was very hard for me to run like somebody. I used to get whipped for that, or whatever they wanted. We couldn't, because I was so young. I was in very young life, and And I was about 9 years old when I was in a house arrest in Shul. I was 9 years old. When I went to Israel, I was 13 years old. I celebrated my 14th birthday in Palestine. Not even Israel, it was Palestine when I came there. So I went through very young the Holocaust. And I was weak, I was undernourished. When I came out, you don't want to know how much I weighed. I was a skeleton. Here, they send you in a home somewhere to get recuperated. I had to recuperate on my own. Why? I don't know. Am I stronger than anybody else? I don't know either. I have no idea in my short life, young life, I had so bad. I don't have a mother and a father, no sister, no brother, nobody left from my family. I have 2 cousins left, and that's all is my family. But I don't give, I feel when I come to shul, everybody's my family. I never think otherwise. And I love to come to shul. When I was very young, I come from an extremely religious family. You know, I used to get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. My father shouldn't leave me when he goes Shabbos to shul, because to me that was $1 million treasure when he held back and we walked to shul and come home. That was $1 million treasure for me. And if I see sometimes kids, I remind myself a lot of me, how I did. But I didn't have it too long. We went home. I have to tell you this story. My husband and my husband's cousins, we went home to Europe. We wanted to go. We were 12 people with his sisters, with the cousins. We decided we're gonna duplicate to see how we went, to Auschwitz. How did they took us with the wagons and trains. So we finally went, we paid for the train ahead, and we went to this. We come to our city, and here comes a very old lady. And she says, we were speaking Yiddish to each other. And she comes and she says, "From where are you kids?" In Yiddish, just like I would speak or anybody. So she saw that we are not from there because the way we were dressed and all that. So we told her, my husband says, "Oh, I am this and this." And I told him who I was born and raised here. She says, "Who was your father?" I said, "My father was Markovitz." Don't you remember I used to get up in the morning, I'm your Shabbos goiter. I used to get up in the morning and to say with you the prayers, and at night when you went to sleep in the morning, Mother Annie." She said, "Don't you remember?" I almost died. She was telling us the story that they went to the churches and to all the places, and they said to the people that the Jews will be taken away, and you can take any house, anything you want out of that house. But if you're gonna tell somebody, for a Jew, we're gonna shoot you. So they knew that they're gonna take us away. Nobody did nothing, nobody lifted nothing. Not a finger, nobody, for the Jews. So, we used to have a very good, in Europe, we were well taken care of when we were Czechoslovakia before Hitler. We were everything the Jew was never locked in because of education, go and come, and free, and prosperity we had. The kids went to college, they went to schools, we had a normal life. But once our president died, when the Germans started to come in, that was the end of the Jewish life for us.
Another question? Joel?
So when the Germans came and then you went to the synagogue, you were taken to the synagogue.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Did you know what was going on around you or in Europe at that time?
Have you know
Good
what-
question. When the Germans came and took you to the big synagogue, did you know what was happening or what was going on in Europe?
No. You see, they came to us, the Hungarians, because when Germany, when they in the 39, in the beginning of 40, end of 39, they came and they took everything away from the Jew. The radio, anything at that time was no, we were remained with nothing whatsoever to hear what's going on in the world. No message, you couldn't get mail. We were like house arrest till they took us. So we didn't know nothing what's going on in the world. They took away everything from us. We had nothing. They knocked, in the most of it, you see, they came, most of us, to us when it was sharp as 5 o'clock in the morning. So early, they knew that the Jewish people, how many Jewish people, everybody wasn't sure there. So they knew that we are home. And we didn't know what's going on. They took away everything from us. We never dreamed that that could happen to us. And there were some people, they used to go to our Nazi and says, what kind of crime did I commit? You should take me. And you know what he answered you? Your crime is being Jewish. That was your crime. That was our crime because we were Jews. Our kids, the Jewish kids, had no education. They took us away like in the slaughterhouse. You treat better than we were treated for a year till finally we went a little bit to work. It was a little bit better there. But till I was in Auschwitz, you couldn't even ask for anything. If you got a little water and sand, you were lucky. If you didn't have, you didn't need. That's all. You were hungry. And when they wanted you should run, they whipped you if you couldn't run. And I am between the luckiest one. My family was a lot of people like my age, and I'm the only one left from all the families who was at my age. I don't know. And that's what it is. That's the way always my husband felt. No more Jews. No more. You're not gonna hit us no more. We're not gonna be no more hungry. We would never let something like this could happen to any animal on the street. I feed even an animal. You know why? Because I feel the animal is always hungry. You ask Kathy. Because I feel it's alive, it has to eat too. Why should it be punished? And that's my thing.
So I think we're going to call it a night for right now. I know, knowing you, Anna, that anyone here is welcome to come and ask you more questions
Yeah.
whenever, Shabbos,
Or
anytime.
anytime.
You
I
are-
always answer, Rabbi. For anybody who wants to know. I have an honest life, so they can answer me anything they want.
Thank you, Anna. You are
Oh, you're
absolutely a
welcome.
treasure.
I don't know about that, but I say one thing, we have to watch it. It can happen again. There is plenty anti-Semitic around. We have to watch it. We have to be strong. In Europe, we weren't ready for that. We never thought that could happen to us. But we have the Jews, we are free or what, but we have to watch out. We have to watch out for each other. Don't ever, ever let it happen like this. Because I treat better my animals than I was treated. And I paid the price for it too. I'm the only survivor in my whole family. The only thing I have is I have great grandchildren and great grandchildren. And I have 2 cousins, and they were Holocaust people too. But they are all too, because I'm one of the youngest survivors that you can find of being survived, except they were hidden. There was I have to tell you something. There are so many Jewish kids in Europe still, because a lot of people, what they did is before when they took us away, they gave the children in monasteries. They gave them for people from the non-Jews. They said they're gonna give them back. Some of them, when they came back, they gave them, but they didn't give all the kids. And we have a friend. He is a professor somewhere from in college. He used to tell the story. He used to go with my husband in school. So he used to say like this: they are from Austria, and they didn't go to. They were hiding out. Finally, they found the father, and they killed him. And the mother, the little boy was 9 years old, and she wanted he should live. So she was hiding at night. She used to go wash floors, janitor, to have her the kid to feed. And finally, somebody told them that they are Jews, so she went in the middle of the night. She picked up the little boy on the shoulder, and she ran away from Austria. From the Austria, they caught the mother. The little boy went into a monastery. And he was so good, that little boy, the mother always told him, the only thing, you should never go to the bathroom when they're with boys. And he became an altar boy. He was so good. So he used to say, I don't know, it's in Jewish. I'm Jewish, please, I do, because I want to live, before he put on the cross. And then he got liberated, and one day he is walking in San Francisco on the street, and somebody got to him. He found his mother. The father they killed. The mother was alive. He is still alive. He is a professor somewhere in this. But he was in a monastery. We have a lot of Jewish kids hidden, we never gave back. A lot of them. You know, here, take my child, just please, when I come back, give it to me back. They never give. Some of them. There's plenty of Jewish kids around. They don't even know by now they're Jews or what. In the monasteries, and there are still Jewish kids. They never give back. They don't know by now. They don't know by now if they are raised Catholic or whatever. So it's still on those things when you go to Europe and you look around.
Thank you, Anna.
That's how, yeah.
Thank you.
I wish every child, Jewish child, should be saved, but it's a lot of them out there, they are not safe in the monasteries. But now I'm an old lady, I come every week in shul. I like the rabbi, so I come to shul. I have to come, that's the way I was brought up. I went every week. I used to get up 2 hours earlier. My father shouldn't leave me because my mother came later with a little bit. So I was afraid he's gonna leave me. So I decided I used to. We Europe had till Czechoslovakia, till when Masaryk was still the president, the Jews had it very good. We were prosperous, we had from all the good, we couldn't be different than anybody else. Till Hitler didn't make a difference between us. And you are more than welcome. Every shop is in shul. If you want to ask me, I never hide nothing. Even they think I have a big mouth, but I'm a shy person inside. I let you know that.
Thank you.
Right, Rabbi?
Okay.
It was such a pleasure.
Our pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Before people head out, if you would mark your calendars, Wednesday evening.